Running a business should not be fun or cool or entertaining. It should make you scary levels of rich. I'm the CEO of a boring air filter manufacturer that makes $22 million per month, and I've tried countless different business ideas over the years. These are the businesses I say you should always avoid and lessons these businesses have taught me. If I have to see another video recommending this first business, I don't know what I'll do. The pitch is simple. You buy a vending machine, restock it now and then, and collect passive income. But the truth is that the best locations where vending machines actually turn a profit are already owned or closely guarded by property owners who charge a premium or run them internally. Cody Sanchez, who's big on alternative businesses, even admitted that vending is all about location, location, location. Margins are razor thin once you account for rent, maintenance, and repairs. Machines break more often than expected, and fixing them can be expensive. Here's the reality no one talks about. The worse the location, the more work it takes, and the less money you make per stop. You're constantly driving around town to refill machines that are barely moving product. The juice just isn't worth the squeeze. Meanwhile, the best spots, like the airports or busy office buildings or hospitals, they're all locked down by insiders who require steep rent and revenue share deals. It's a low-margin delivery business in disguise. That being said, I still do believe that vending can be a great early test bed to get started in business, but not a long-term wealth engine. This next business opportunity was a great opportunity 10 years ago. Storage units seem like the perfect blend of real estate and cash flow. Influencers love them because they look passive and scalable. But buying or building one today is capital intensive and highly competitive. There's simply too much money chasing the exact same deals. It's not just the building cost. You also need software, marketing, security, and strong management to stay profitable. Another factor is that private equity has already filtered out most beginner opportunities in this space. They're buying storage facilities in bulk using cheap debt, pro software, and national marketing teams to run them efficiently. What used to be a mom and pop hustle is now a spreadsheet arms race. Unfortunately, it's my experience that if an influencer is hyping something up, it's a good sign that the sun has set on that opportunity. When something actually works out well and makes people money, people aren't rushing to shout it from the rooftops. They're quietly scaling it in the background. That's why on this channel, I preach the importance of building your own skills and following your unique interest. Because the truth is, the best business for you is the one that fits you, something no one else can easily copy. This next business looks great in movies, but there are risks most people just don't see. Car washes are often pitched as simple cash machines, but they're actually a massive depreciating asset. The automated equipment you see at modern car washes didn't exist 5 to 10 years ago, which means the space is evolving rapidly and demands constant reinvestment. If you rent the land, the landlord sees your car wash doing well and thinks, cool, now I'm gonna raise your rent. Suddenly, your profits vanish and you're trapped or forced to move a fixed location business. If you own the land in a hot area, the math might stop making sense. Over time, someone might offer to buy your lot to build apartments, and they can outbid you because their business model supports a higher land value. In both cases, the land becomes more valuable because of what it could be, not what it is today. If you're just starting out, I'd recommend starting a mobile car wash instead because it's low overhead, higher margin, and meets people where they are. It's proof mobile detailing flips the model. It's the perfect launch pad. Fast to start, low capital, real cash flow, and you build client relationships from day one. That's how businesses start. Not with debt and concrete, with skill and service. I built my $250 million business because I started dropshipping. But I wouldn't recommend anyone start a dropshipping store today. I was running a company called My Office Delivered, and we were dropshipping office supplies, mostly through Amazon. The model looked clean on paper, and we were scaling fast. Then I got the call. One of our suppliers had sent the wrong file. Suddenly, we were selling flat screen TVs for the price of an ink cartridge. Orders poured in, our listings were completely mispriced, and we had to cancel a huge volume of sales. Not a good look. That mistake nearly put us out of business, and that's when it clicked. If I was going to build something real, something with value, I needed to own the brand. From that day forward, I made a rule for myself. Never build a business where you're just a middleman. When you don't control the product or the experience, you can't build trust. That's why I tell people today, you can make money dropshipping, but you can't build wealth with it. Wealth comes from ownership of your brand, your customer, and your reputation. These next businesses are ones that you've probably already started, but are just a job in disguise. Photography and portrait framing businesses are attractive because they're low cost and creative. But most people quickly find they're just selling their time for money. If you want to find success in this type of business, brand and IP are the only ways to escape the time for money trap. Without them, you're just another freelancer charging by the hour, constantly hustling for the next client. I've got a friend who started out doing wedding photography on weekends. He was talented, but so are thousands of other people with a nice camera. What changed? He landed one celebrity wedding, just one, and nailed it. The photos went viral. His name started spreading, and suddenly everyone wanted to be shot by that guy. Overnight, he went from chasing gigs to turning people away. Same camera, same person, but now he had a brand, and that's the difference. And when you add IP on top, things like presets, templates, editing courses, or even licensing your work, now you're not just trading time for money, you're building real leverage. This next business is a perfect example of a widespread and potentially dangerous business model. Cleaning businesses look simple. You do the work, earn income, and maybe build a crew later. But there's a massive scaling issue. You're competing with owner-operators willing to work for just their wage. The thing is that owner-operators don't think like business owners. They're not pricing in health insurance, team payroll, the cost of building a system. They're just trying to make a living, and that means they can afford to charge less than you ever could. Even worse, your customer doesn't care. If the work looks the same and the price is lower, they'll choose the cheaper option, even if it's less reliable long-term. Usually by layering in other skills like marketing, branding, systems, or niche specialization. That's how you go from working in the business to building a business that works for you. These last businesses are tar pits, which means they can look appealing from the outside, but if you get stuck in them, the consequences can be brutal. Airbnb and Turo have minted millionaires with their platforms, but there's an issue nobody sees. All the hard stuff like marketing, payment processing, customer acquisition, all handled by the platform. And it's the real trap of platform-based businesses. You quickly become a commodity. You're just another listing in a race to the bottom. And the platform, the one that made it easy to start, starts raising fees, tightening policies, and taking more control. Why? Because platforms always subsidize growth early on, then squeeze profitability once they've locked in supply. Suddenly, you find that you're not just competing against hotels, you're competing against every other guy who bought the same couch at Wayfair. You're not running a car rental business, you're in an algorithm arms race with dozens of identical listings, hoping for 5 stars and no cancellations. I see so many people make a few $100s with this hustle then flame out. Anyone can spend $10 on a book, but committing to read it, that's hours of their life. So even if you manage to get the sale, if the content is weak, they'll never buy from you again. That's what makes content different from selling a product. You're not just asking for dollars, you're asking for attention. And in a world flooded with free YouTube videos, blog posts, and podcasts, you have to be really good to earn both. So how do you know if this is something you should pursue? Here's the checklist. Have you done the thing you're writing about? Do people actually ask you for advice on it? Do you have a unique insight, framework, or experience that you can't easily find on Google? If the answer is yes, great, you've got something to say. If not, then focus on building the story, the results, or the skill set first. Because with content, credibility is everything. And no AI, hack, or template will save a book that doesn't deliver real value. Like a lot of entrepreneurs chasing passive income, I kept coming back to the idea of content websites. I even built one. If you want to see it, look up howtohome.com. I'm honestly embarrassed to even share that. I had a team of writers churning out product reviews with one goal: get ranked and get clicks. We've all seen those sites, and here's the truth. If I'm being honest, it offered little or no value. I could never bring my all to that business because deep down, I knew I wasn't really helping anyone. Yes, some people made millions with this model. Some people still do today, often with shady tactics, black hat SEO, or mass-produced content. But I didn't, and now that game is over. AI can write those same articles in seconds. Users know it, Google knows it, and no one wants to sift through 2,000 words of SEO filler to find a simple answer. The people winning today are creators who bring real value. They do real testing. They offer deep, original insight. They put in serious effort to educate, explain, and help. And they deserve to win because they're actually serving the audience. If you want business ideas that you can actually do, watch my video on one-person businesses here.